What is going on, internet? My name is Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Good morning, everybody in chat. We are live. How's everybody doing? Paul, me, Colleen, girls, Otter, Norma. Who else did I see in there? Sunny. How are you guys doing? Moonlight Warrior, what up? How are you? Hopefully you guys have a wonderful Monday morning. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. The first weekend without Big Brother in a very, very long time. I guess we can get rid of the music here because we're just kind of chilling and chatting. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. No real plan or organization to this. I just thought it would be kind of nice to decompress. Especially because, like, over the weekend, I just kind of wanted to touch grass, pretty much. Get away from the season. It was very, very long. 100 days is a very long time to be focused on Big Brother. And just kind of wanted to, you know, decompress and get some thoughts out before I finish doing the recap video that I have planned for the whole season. So I thought I'd get on here, talk to you guys, see what you liked about the season, see what you hated about the season, see what you guys are still thinking now that we've had some time to process everything as well. I didn't want a lot of recency biased in my thoughts when I made the video either. So I felt like it was just appropriate to give some time between. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Missing Big Brother, missing morning updates. I think unless you watch the feeds, you don't truly know the people. CBS didn't show the nastiness. Well, I think the thing is, too, even if you do watch the feeds, I don't think we really truly know these people too much either. I feel like we still need to give them you know, a bit of leeway, right? Like, they're normal people just like all the rest of us. I know there's lots of stuff happening, you know, always with like the postseason things and the parties, and everybody was at Todrick's house all partying and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, for the most part, it could be different for everybody as they leave that house and they find out all of the new information and all the craziness. So always try and give people a little bit of grace and breathing room with that kind of stuff as well. Bored without the show, hit that like button, guys. So happy by the way with the way the votes came out. All the people I wanted to win won. Cameron got all 10 of my votes. Yeah, Cameron coming up big with the America's Favorite Player, which I know a lot of people were surprised about. If you've been hanging out here in the weeks before the finale, you probably wouldn't have been surprised. We've been kind of saying that Cameron had a really good shot at winning that America's Favorite Player award, and even in the polls we did in chat, it seemed really likely. It was like, man, Cameron is always near the top. Cirie was always up there. Felicia was getting lots of votes. Cory and America were always popular ones, but Cameron and Cirie were always kind of those ones that were up there, neck and neck as the top of them. Let's see where we at. Oh, you were referring to who voted for America's Favorite Player? Let's see. I'm glad Jag chose to take Matt. Love the speech he gave to Bowie when he made that decision. Yeah, Jag really I don't necessarily agree with his decision to take Matt. It worked out for him in the end. But at the moment, it seemed like it was a terrible decision to take Jag to the end with him. But it worked out for him in the end, and I respected it, even if it did seem like a terrible decision in the moment. I respected his decision to take his best friend to the final two. But man, you know you have to be setting yourself up there for a terrible loss. Let's see. Where were we? They're still playing it 100%. Exactly. They're playing a game, to tell you, right? They are in there doing this all for $750,000. So you know, there's a lot going on there. The love of money brings out the worst of them in that house. Exactly, right? Like there's so much going on, and there's the money involved, and just trying to win in the end. That sometimes you do things you don't normally want to. You not want to, but don't normally approve of in your regular life. I would be a different person if I was in there with that much money on the line. Natalia, see, yeah, right? Like sometimes you just leave your morals at the door. Other people don't, all right? Other people go in there and they try and play with a little bit more of a moral compass. They try and have a little bit more loyalty to people, and I totally respect if that's your game plan going on in. Not mine. Not mine. I'll lie, cheat, steal, do what I gotta do. Let's see. Stevie won America's favorite. Oh, was that Cameron's daughter? Yeah. I mean, kind of. Yeah, Barbara. Cameron's response when he found out was really great. He was like humbled, and he was like, "Wait, really? What? Like me? I won over Cirie, over Matt. You're telling me I won?" Because I think what it is they've been talking about this for a while, right? When you're in that house, especially when they were in that jury house, they had to be thinking like, "Oh, who do you think's gonna win? Who do you think's gonna win?" And everybody was throwing out their names. I bet Cameron's name was like never thrown out, like ever. They would be like, "Oh, who do you think's gonna win?" Cirie. "Oh, who do you think's gonna win?" Cory, right? America. Or like they're probably thinking in there inside the house, they're probably thinking Matt. Everybody loves Matt. I don't think anyone for a second thought it was Cameron in the house guests. I don't think one of them did. The jury. Did you guys see Jared's face when he found out? He was full on agape. He was like, he was shocked. Let's see. Where were we at? I still laugh at the speech Jag gave the jury. That was a good one. Here's the thing. The more I think back and the more I kind of go back and look at it, I think a lot of it was a little bit of tongue in cheek. Like I think he knew he was talking to like Cory and America mainly there with that speech. And I don't think a lot of it was to be taken seriously. I think a lot of it was a little bit of like, over the top, like give them the villain type thing and like put on a show. But man, it was a fun speech, right? Like you gotta love it when somebody goes out there and kind of lays it out. And then when you compare Jag's finale performance to Matt, it's not even comparable. I don't think it mattered at the end of the day, but wow, what a speech that was. I was having withdrawals. Thanks for coming on this AM. Yeah, I figured, let's get everybody on, kind of chat, see where everybody's heads at, see what you guys are thinking now that we've had some time to kind of process things. I respect he chose loyalty to his friend over a sure win. And that's the thing, Carolyn, I 100% agree, right? I respect it so much. Like big props to you, Jag. I don't agree. I wouldn't have done it. Oof. What a speech. No jury. And Jade, right? Like that's the thing. There was no jury management in that speech. It was just like very much like going in their face, like your blood's on my hands. I signed all of your eviction notices. And I think that was him just kind of like going over the top more than him like believing it, but maybe he did. I'm not sure. Also, some of the players are Norma. They're not that. All the house guests are beautiful. Or do you think Matt and Reilly have a chance? I don't know. Because here's the thing. They were in there for such a short amount of time. They really, really don't know each other. She knows him better than he knows her because she's been getting to watch him for all these weeks. And I don't know. I'm sure they'll give the good old try. And best of luck to him, but I don't know. How did those that didn't know about Jared and Cirie react? For the most part, everybody was pretty chill with it. Probably the funniest reaction on finale night was Cory, where he was like, I voted out Jared and then tried to work with Cirie afterward. Like, what was I thinking? And I think his whole thought process of it too, like even afterwards, like you could see his face a lot of times. He started like thinking like, oh, like that's why this and that didn't work. And he's like, wait a minute, oh, like this didn't work. And hey, look at that, we got Roman coming on in with the Super J. Get the little Hisam dance here on this Monday morning. Let's see. Where are we at? Completely shocked. People would say the worst things in the BB house. My problem, that people on Twitter pick and choose what is good and what is bad. Joshua, that is kind of a big thing as well. Oh, also, I just noticed, Roman, your super chat had a comment to it. My hands are covered in your blood is one of the my top final speeches lines ever. Going to teach it to my students. I love it. Yeah, it was a great line. It was so good. But Joshua, to go back to your point about the you know, Twitter picking, you know, what's good and who's bad, or it's not just Twitter, like Facebook will do it too, other social media. There's even people here on YouTube. But for the most part, I think a lot of people, yeah, they have, you know, a lot of strong feelings. But I think what ends up happening is you have, like on Twitter, where you'll have what seems like large groups of it, where it might only be like maybe like 20 people on Twitter, right? Like how many people are really tweeting about like the one topic? But we see those ones because they're amplified, right? They have a lot of followers or a lot of retweets and likes. What are they even called now? Posts? I don't even know with Twitter, X, whatever's going on. But you see like this like very small like vocal minority that will just be spewing out all this kind of stuff that seems like it might be more of a universal opinion. But then you look at Cameron winning America's favorite player and you realize, oh, it's not the entire fan base. That is just a portion, even though they're a very loud portion of the fan base. And that's one of the things I kind of wanted to create here is where like, hey, yeah, you can have your opinions of, you know, whatever somebody said inside the house, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go in and attack them personally for it. You can be like, hey, I didn't like that. Let's talk about that. And that's kind of the kind of place that I wanted to create with this channel, is where we can talk about like, hey, maybe we should talk about what that person said, but we don't have to, you know, go too deeply on trying to condemn them when, hey, being in that house is weird. You never know what's really going on. And there are some moments, good old Tom Riddle. Oh, that guy. Oh, that guy. Don't even get me started. That's been one of the things I've been struggling with a little bit, is how to deal with Tom in the video. I have an idea, and I think that's going to really kind of work. But I'll tell you, there was a draft. There was a draft of the video that I have coming up. I've got it all kind of scripted out. And there was one draft where I don't even think I could include that part. I was like, wait a minute, this is going on YouTube. I'm supposed to be family friendly, and talking about Tom right now, I am not being family friendly. Yeah, I had to edit that a good bit. Cameron wasn't even voted for the invincibility challenge, so I'm sure he was shocked to see he was America's favorite player. Right, PT, that's a good point too, right? Completely, you know, almost a 180 from where he was in the game to where he kind of finished. So yeah, definitely had to be a surprising moment for him. Matt just can't speak on the spot. I felt bad for him. Yeah, it did seem like he was a little out of his element there, and that was kind of holding him back. But I don't think that at the end of the day had a lot to do with the vote. I feel like the jury had their decisions made up going into it. And I don't think a lot of that had a lot to do with it. Even like in the post interviews, most of the jury members all made it like, yeah, we were voting for Jag going into there. I totally needed a dose of Ory now that we are done. Yeah, I thought I'd come on here, you know, chat with you guys, see what's happening. Definitely fell behind here in the chat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Skip forward a little bit. and jump to the bottom here. Let's see. Where are we at? Ooh, Palmy. What did Palmy say? That would be good. I want to see Cameron and Red on play Amazing Race. That would be fun. Jag's social game was awful. Also, hey, hi, RA. How are you? Jag's social game was awful. Jag wasn't even a snake. Jag was a coward and would avoid to be the evicted house guests instead of having the difficult conversations. You know, RA, you've got a little bit of a point. I can see your take on that, because that is in I guess the less than favorable way to Jag to put it, right? Where Jag would say, instead of being like a coward or even a snake, he would just say like he was doing it to, you know, compartmentalize, keep all the information in because it kept leaking out. But as people we were watching the feeds, it did seem a lot of the time that Jag would do the thing that was most convenient, right? The thing that would cause the least amount of trouble. And I can see your point a little bit there, where it's like he might have just been playing more of a scared game than he was playing a masterful one, a skilled one. Let's see. I heard the jurors that was the most vocal was Felicia, according to Cameron, which I could see that. I could see Felicia being the most vocal. Let's see, where are we at? After he put Izzy and Mama F up, it was when most people started liking Cam. Yeah, 100% Rockstar. And which is also kind of funny because like that's the one where they were like, wait a minute, like the guy watched Mama Fee take her tooth out and still put a pie in her face, and people like this guy. Yeah, that's why we like him. Will you be doing reindeer games, Ori? Yeah, I'm gonna be covering it. What exactly it will be, I still don't even know. I don't even know. Do we know exactly how many players are on it? I don't even know if we know that for sure. It's like 6 episodes, 2 weeks. It's all competitions. They're not living in the house. It's definitely going to be a weird thing, but also maybe it could be like a nice little holdover thing, especially until we get to like things like Big Brother Canada, which will be coming up in like March, February type of year. Yeah, T-Gold, how do I think it will go? I don't know how it will go. I'm hoping for the best, fearing for the worst. I imagine it'll be kind of corny. They're gonna have Santa on there and then the helpers and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully they do things like that are kind of like classic Big Brother challenges, right? Like do a wall comp. What else would be like a fun like BB comp to do, right? That would fit into this. I don't even know. I don't even know what exactly you could do, but that's what I imagine it's going to be like. And hopefully it's fun. Hopefully they get some good, entertaining people in there. Don't just get like, you know, anyone, right? Get some people that are fun, you know, that'll cause some good entertainment. I think that's what BB is calling this, calling it for this winter. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. The reindeer games is gonna be weird. Jag was fighting for 750K. I'm okay with his speech. Way to go, Jag. Yeah, right. You gotta go in there. And that was the thing too. It was maybe seen by some as arrogant, but also that's what you gotta do at the end, right? Like your whole point in that speech is to make yourself seem like you had the best game ever, right? And make them feel like you're the winner. So if any time there was to be a little bit arrogant, maybe it was then. But also I think a lot of it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Just a little bit. Could you imagine Cirie and Felicia on Amazing Race? Oh my goodness. No. They would get probably lost on the first leg. Cory Wurtenberger should do Amazing Race. I could see that happening. Really easily, as they were like, hey, you guys want to come on? I think Cameron could be a shot there. I don't know about Cameron in red, but maybe it'd be fun. Would like to see Cam in red on reindeer games. I feel like Cam's going to be on reindeer games. It's if I had to guess, it's probably either going to be Cam, Jag, Hisam, because it seems like they're going for stuff that's more like physical comp based. If it's not one of them, maybe America. Gosh, it's hard to say who else they would maybe even choose, because we know someone from this cast will be on it. But who? But who? Also, totally fell behind in the chat there. My apologies. But let's kind of jump down here to where there's more chats. Let's see. Jane, I heard the Traitors starts in July. Yeah, Sunny, that should be around when the Traitors starts. Was there somebody else who was asking about the Traitors? Maybe. I know they filmed already. They filmed what was that, August? So it's been like no, it wasn't August. It was a little after August, because August was Traitors Canada that filmed. And if you guys don't know and you're not aware of the Traitors US, or just the Traitors at all, the Traitors US season 2 might be one of the wackiest casts I've ever seen for a reality show competition. Like, it is wild, the people they were able to put together. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. The Traitors US season 2 cast. Someone had to put together like an image, right? Someone had to. No. It's got to be like, wasn't there an article that came out about it too and everything? Oh yeah, on NBC's website. Here we go. Okay, they don't have pictures or anything, but I can pull this over. We can, I guess, take a look at this. And I'll get this on in just a second here. I'll do that. Source. I think. Oh, still got that up. Okay. Here we go. This here. Who is competing on the Traitors season 2? Well, let's just say it's a crazy list. The first guy, Bergie, I've heard things about him. I've heard things about this guy, Bergie. I hear he's a mess. He's rough. CT, Dan, Deontay Wilder. I don't know if you guys know who Deontay Wilder is. He's a boxer. And he's the guy who did you guys hear about Tyson Fury, and he was like knocked out and he did like the Undertaker thing where he sat back up? That's the guy. Deontay Wilder is the guy who hit him and knocked him down. He's like a big time boxer. But yeah, let's not roll past Dan Giesling. Dan Giesling. Let's see. Ekin-Su. From what I hear, Ekin-Su is TV gold. I hear Ekin-Su is like top tier. Like, you want more Ekin-Su on your screen. The more Ekin-Su, the better, is what I hear. Look at that name right underneath there. Janelle. How about the name right underneath Janelle? How about Johnny Bananas? John Berko, who is some UK Parliament person. I don't know. I don't know this Kevin guy from Bling Empire. I don't know what that is. Larsa Pippen, who is the ex-wife of Scottie Pippen. This gets better. If you know Scottie Pippen, famous member of the Chicago Bulls, whose most famous player was Michael Jordan. Oh, look at that. Marcus Jordan, who is also on the cast. And this is my favorite part. Larsa Pippen, who is the ex-wife of Scottie Pippen, and Marcus Jordan, who is the son of Michael Jordan, they're hooking up. They're dating. There's just something, there's something real messy about that. There's something real messy about the greatest basketball player of all time, his son dating the ex-wife of his former teammate. So that alone, I think, is going to make the season fun, even if you didn't have the rest of these people. Joshua, 100%. This cast is just asking for content, from what I could tell. It is just full of wild people. Who else do we have here? I'm not even sure how you would pronounce that. Maxim from Dancing with the Stars, don't know them. MJ from Shaws of Sunset, don't know them either. Parvati, Peppermint from Rouge Paul, don't really know them either. Peter Weber from The Bachelor, I don't really know them. Fedora? Is that Fedora Parks? Is that what it is? I don't know, maybe. From The Real Housewives, don't know them either. Sandra is gonna be on there. This one might be the one I'm most excited for. This one right here, Trishelle. Listen, if you guys know Trishelle from back in the day, she didn't take it lying down. She gave it to you. Otter, right? Sandra, Janelle, Dan, Parvati, CT, Bananas. Like, that alone, like, if you just had those people on the show, like, that, easy. But then you throw in some of these, like, real messy people, and it feels like it was going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Parvati. Where's she at? She's on here. There she is. Good old Parvati. It's stacked. It's absolutely stacked. And this should be starting up sometime soonish. I think January was kind of a good idea of when it would come out. I don't think we'll get it sooner than that, but you never know, because Traitors Canada has been going on. They filmed in August, already airing. So they had a very quick turnaround with that show. And the filming isn't long either. It's only about 2 weeks, which is why they were able to get some of these people like Dan. He wouldn't commit to it if it was longer than 2 weeks. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Is it on Paramount Plus? No. So it's on Peacock. It's like an NBC thing or something. I don't even know. But on Peacock, I believe they have the first season of the Traitors US. They have the Traitors UK on there, and I believe they also have the Traitors Australia on there as well. And I do highly recommend watch season 1 of the US just to get an idea for the show, then watch the UK one. I personally like the UK Traitors better than the US version of the Traitors. I thought it was a lot more fun. But after I also watched that one first, and it felt like after I watched season US, it felt like I should have swapped the order. I was like, this was a better way to like learn what the game's kind of like, and then I should have watched that one to like enjoy the show. So that would be my recommendation. Check out US season 1, which is out now, and then go check out the UK version after that. That would be my bet. Let's see where we at. Where can I watch House of Villains? Oh, House of Villains was fantastic. House of Villains is, here's the thing about House of Villains. It is, they take themselves so unseriously serious, right? Like they will like tongue-in-cheek make like references to actually making the show, and they'll be very over the top, but also like at the same time it feels like they're all taking this like pretty seriously. Like it feels like Johnny Bananas like really putting in some work. Like, yeah, he's kind of playing with some amateurs here, but like he's trying hard on that show to come out on top. Like he's not just sitting back and collecting a paycheck. He's putting in the time. That's what he's doing. Australian is frustrating to watch. So I think there's even now a second season of Australia. Now that the Big Brother season's over, I actually have some time. I can go back and watch that. And I think there's a New Zealand version of the Traitors too that I haven't seen yet. But yeah, I should go check that out. The first Australian, I don't think the first Australian was that frustrating. The first Australian one I thought was decent, but it wasn't as good, I thought, as the UK or the US one. I hear good things about the second one though. Morrow, what up, Morrow? How are you? Good morning. Let's see. I didn't watch any of the Housewives show. I just can't. They're so stupid to me. Can't relate at all. Yeah, I can't either with the Housewives, but when they're on shows, they do seem to bring the entertainment. They do seem to bring that entertainment. I love CT and Bananas. I'm actually liking Omarosa. Omarosa's fun on House of Villains too, right? She knows how to bring that good entertainment for these shows. CT's your fave. Did you know anyone on the Traitors UK? No. So the Traitors UK, pretty much everybody on there, as far as I know, they were all like regular people. And one of the things, let me see if I pull up a picture of them, because that cast, I don't know, there was something about it. It didn't feel like a reality TV cast. It felt like they were all real people. Like, trying to say it without saying it meanly, like they weren't the beautiful people. Like, I know that's gonna sound mean, but like they're just like they weren't models, right? They weren't like supermodels or anything. They were just normal people. Let me see. Let's see, cast of the Traitors UK. Yeah, this works, I guess. Open the image. Yeah, this should work. Yeah, here they are. And I can like zoom in on them. You can get like a better look at them. They're regular people, right? Like they're not like these, you know, super, you know, amazing looking models that you see on every single. I mean, this guy. Look, okay, this guy's got the chiseled jaw and like, right? Like, okay, but like everybody else, like, it's not like they're like ugly, right? I'm not saying they're ugly people, but like these seem like people I know, right? This group feels like I feel like if any of them were watching this, they'd be highly offended by how I'm talking about them. But I'm actually trying to say something nice about them, that they seem normal. They're not like, I think you guys gotta know what I mean. They're not the typical reality show cast that you normally see, where everybody is, you know, these big over the top crazy personalities. And don't get me wrong, they all have personality. This grandma right here, she's amazing. I love her. Who else is really good on it? She's really fun on the show. She's really fun on the show. Where's the one girl? Hold on. This girl right here. She's my favorite. She's Mandy, maybe? I forget her name. I don't remember any of their names, but she was a lot of fun. I think it was Maddie. Was it Maddie? I think I said Mandy, but Maddie, oh my goodness, she was fun. Cameron and Izzy gave him a hug when he won AFP. Oh, Cameron said Izzy gave him a hug. That's nice. That's good. And that's the thing too. Like, I actually think a lot of times what ends up happening, the people who clash the most inside the house often end up being like really good friends outside of it. Not all the time. Not all the time. But I could actually see Cameron and Izzy end up like actually becoming friends and getting along a lot more outside of the house. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But that's nice that they hugged it out. You know, they had a good hug out. Okay, but how many truly beautiful people were on BB25? Matt, yes. Reilly, yes. The others, nobody was drop dead gorgeous. I mean, I thought they were good looking people, but I get your point too, right? But it was just, I don't know, just even like the way these people acted, they didn't act very like reality TV show like. Probably the most reality TV show like person was this guy right here. This guy. Just the story arc of this guy alone, like how things went for this guy. Him, and then who is the other guy who was like dragged into the whole thing with him? I forget. Was it this guy? Did he get dragged into all of it just by being there? It was a mess. I highly recommend it. This guy was a lot of fun too. I think he's cut off on the screen. This guy right here, he's a lot of fun too. He's a lot of fun. But yeah, they were a different type of cast that I just didn't feel like was your typical reality TV show cast, and it definitely to me was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun watching them, and then just how everything played out ended up being good too. And I can't say too much, because if I say too much, it just kind of spoils, you know, who the traitors are and how things go and all that kind of stuff. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. Let's see. She acted like she hated him in the exit interviews, 100%. But I could see Izzy and Cameron getting along. Patriotic, what up? All just got here. Great to see you, and thank you for all you do, Ori. Well, thank you for hanging out, coming on by, even just swinging by, even if it's just for a bit. I appreciate it. After they acted regular and they looked regular, so they acted regular and they looked regular. Like, that was the thing. It's hard to describe, I guess, without maybe watching it. And if you watched it, maybe you would understand what I'm trying to say. But like, it didn't feel like they were giving like canned responses. It felt like their reaction to situations were like what real people in real life would do, then just like, this is what happens on a reality show, right? Like, I don't know. It just felt more genuine. Maybe that is the word I'm looking for. They felt more real, which is weird to say in a reality show that you're looking for somebody that looks more real, but yeah, they just felt genuine, if that makes sense. US likes to glorify the clowns. Morrow, that's a very good point on maybe why I felt this way. They aren't all clowns. Yeah, that is probably why. What is the show you guys are looking at? Oh, so this one, oops, says I brought up the wrong one. So this one here, if you mean this is the cast for the Traitors Canada. There is a Traitors, or not Canada, this was UK. Traitors Canada is ongoing, but there's a bunch of different versions. There's Traitors UK, Traitors Canada, Traitors Australia. There is a Traitors US that's already aired. And then the Traitors US season 2 is going to have a lot of really big people that you would know from reality TV and stuff like that. Cirie was on Traitors season 1, right? So like it's a fun reality show. The basic concept of it, to try and explain it to you guys. All of these people here, they're all here playing the game. It's always been, in every season I've watched so far, 3, but I guess technically it doesn't have to be 3. They could start it with 2. They could start with 4 maybe, but every season I've seen so far, they start with 3. 3 of these people are traitors. And the goal is you want to get to the end of the game. There's different little competitions where you have to compete and put money into a pot. If you get to the end, like whoever is there at the end wins the pot. And if a traitor is at the end, they take everything. Each week, how you get down to the bottom people is they'll all meet up in a room. It's a big round table. And they vote somebody out. Literally on nothing other than just, I think you're a traitor. No, you're a traitor. No. That guy's a traitor. And it's literally just everybody pointing fingers at each other. They vote somebody out. Then that night, the traitors will get to kill somebody. And then they just repeat the process until they get to the final, when there's about 3 or 4 people left, and they try and figure out, like, is there still a traitor here? Because the faithful are trying to vote out the traitors. The traitors are trying to get to the end to steal the money. And it ends up being a fun game. It could be a wild ride. Lots of just paranoia and calling people out with literally no evidence. Literally none. And it's a wild ride. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. There's issues with it. I won't say it's a perfect show. There's a lot of issues with it, and I don't even want to go too much into it, because once you realize the issue, you go, oh, it's like one of those, like, you can't unsee it moments. So better off to watch an episode first and then go, oh yeah, like that's a thing right there. Because a lot of times you'll watch it right away and you go, that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem. One problem I can say right away is the challenges don't mean much. Every week they'll have like a challenge and everybody competes to play for it. But there's no like incentive for the traitors to throw the challenge. There's no like reason for them to not try their hardest too. So really it gives like no incentive for them. What's the name of the show? The Traitors. It's all on Peacock. If you have NBC Peacock, that streaming service, it's on that. There's a US version, there's a UK version, there's an Australian version. There's the US version that just aired had Cirie on it. Cody was on it. Rachel was on it. Who else was on that season? Anybody else you guys would know if I was like, oh, this person? Maybe. I can't think off the top of my head. And then the new season of the trailers, Amber, CT, Bananas, Dan, Janelle, Parvati, Sandra. It's like the list goes on and on and on of all the people that are going to be on the new season of it. Oh, I'm so excited. And like I said, I think I'm most excited for Scottie Pippen's ex-wife and Michael Jordan's son. Like, that whole situation maybe has me the most excited. Amber, CT is a reality TV pro, 100%, right? And I can't wait to see him on a show like this where like everybody's like, yo, you're a traitor. He's like, I'm not a traitor, you're a traitor. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Kate is from Below Deck. Oh yes, Kate. Oh my god, Kate. Morrow. I forgot about Kate. Those challengers are more filler than Pokemon Orange Islands. Stin, you got me there. You got me there. That's a good one. That's a good one. Also, what's up, Stin? How are you, buddy? Yo, Stin, that video, you made some good points, buddy. Like, listen, you guys don't know Stin. He's awesome. Go check him out. But Stin put out a video on his channel where he talks about his opinion on who he thinks the greatest winner of Big Brother is. And I kind of highly recommend you go check it out. What just happened? Oh, hey, we got a super chat coming on in. Getting a little Hisam dance on this this Monday morning. Thank you so much for the super chat. Billy says, is this the best cast of modern era? Non-duds. So if you're referring to BB25, we could bring them up here if I do that. If you're referring to this cast, I think we could say there was one dud. There was one dud, and he's not pictured here. And that's the only dud of the season, I think. Honestly, I think there was one dud the entire... Two duds the entire season. I wonder if you guys know who the other dud I'm thinking of is. And this is only, like, it's not even that I think they're terrible. It's just like, what did we get? Like, you know, like, that's more of like why they're a dud. Not Bowie. Not Bowie or Blue. No. I think they brought something. Mecole, no, not Mecole either, though I can see where you say that. Jared, I can see where you're saying that too, but no. Nobody's getting it. Nobody said it yet. Kirsten. And again, she was first boot. We didn't really get much from her, but I would say maybe she's a bit of a dud. I would say she's the one that's a dud. Blue, I think, still brought something. Mimi, at the very least, we got the pantry rants. If nothing else, Mimi ranting in the pantry, good enough for me. Good enough for me. She didn't have to do anything else. Just doing the pantry rants and like being so fed up with the crazy people, especially in the beginning of the game. She brought it. Blue, I kind of think. So that's the thing, Morrow. Blue helped Jared make messes. Well, other messes as well. But even afterwards, I feel like Blue was always around in things, right? Like, Blue wasn't doing stuff necessarily, but like, she was always involved with things and in ways made things more interesting, right? Like, why did Cory and America end up leaving the week they did? Because America talked to Blue and Blue talked to Jag and Matt, right? Like, Blue was a key role in them going, right? And to me, like, I feel like that makes her automatically not a dud. If you have a key role in a big flip, you're not a dud. You were part of something big. But Kirsten, dud. Tom Riddle, dud. Other than that, though, the rest of the cast, I feel like they all had something about them that at least made them a little bit unique. Red might be borderline, but also brought something with his whole thing with Cameron and trusting in Cirie. The two of them trusted in Cirie so much. Like, they trusted so much. It wasn't until they actually finally got burned that they stopped trusting her. And then even after that, it felt like Cameron still trusted her. Which I think is more to the credit of Cirie than anything else. But man, they're a wild bunch. They're a wild bunch. I think overall though, I kind of can agree there with Billy. I think it might be the best cast of the modern era. Trying to think, like, BB23 was a really good cast. BB24, here's the thing. BB24, I think, is a good cast when you look at them in retrospective. Going into that season, we were like, man, I don't know if these people are going to be good. And then also, like, half of them are truly awful. Half of them are truly awful. And even with this cast, too, like, I feel like there were bad things said, right? Of course. But there's bad things said every season of Big Brother. There's bad things said every day in life. I feel like for the most part, even though, like, you know, some people might not like everybody and you might not disagree with everything that people said, I think for the most part, there's no, like, truly awful people left other than the one that we don't talk about anymore, right? Like, all of these people, at the end of the day, I think are good, decent people, if that makes sense, right? Like, there's no Daniel in this cast, right? Like, not to say that you don't... Hot take, Daniel can go kick rocks, but sometimes you need a Daniel, right? Like, sometimes you need that on the seasons. I might not love having it there afterwards, but sometimes you need that inserted in for a season to really kick off. Best cast in the modern era. What? Insanity? I honestly, though, I think it could be up there. I think it can be up there. Because also, where do we define the modern era, right? Like, where does that go? Is that after All Stars? Do we go at like 23, 24, 25? Is that what we consider modern era? Because I feel like we're in... You can't compare it to like BB16, BB17, BB8. That's a different era. I truly feel like the modern era of BB is different than BB17, BB6. So Morgan, no, I highly disagree there. 16 to All Stars is one era. I truly believe we have to consider after All Stars, like 23, 24, and 25. I feel like they have to be considered their whole new thing. Because those 3 seasons actually they're similar to the old ones, but they definitely have a distinct feel on how the games played, how they were received, I think, better than some of those other ones. So I feel like there has to be a distinction there. So when I think of like, oh, who am I comparing this cast to? I'm not comparing it to like BB16, right? Like, you can't compare it to BB16. So that's the thing here. I think we now... How can you consider BB16, which was more than 10 years, how can you consider that now still modern? That's mid-era BB. Literally, it's almost the midpoint of Big Brother. So how can we consider BB16 modern era? Does that make sense, right? Like, at a time, of course, BB16 was modern. But now at this point, BB16, it's mid-era. Postmodern. Morgan, that's a good one for it, right? 16 to 20 is like modern. 21 up, postmodern. I could get behind that. But yeah, like, how can we say BB16, which is 10 years ago now, how can we say that's still modern, right? It was so long ago. I don't know. I feel like you have to kind of almost have a new one, right? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys see it differently. I'll be 70 years old next month, and Ory-O and your Ory-Os have a sweet part of a year for me that is very painful. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. So thank you for the fun diversion. Lewis, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. Very excited for your birthday next month. Thank you for being here with all of us. We love you too. Big hugs to you, Lewis. And that's been also something that's been kind of amazing and just inspiring to see, like, the community, right, as a whole, coming together, people enjoying having the distraction of being here, getting the support of everybody in the community gathering around. You can see the chats in there already giving you support, but it really has been amazing, because I see you guys end up, you support me, you're here all the time watching, but to truly see, like, the community, like, kind of coming together is amazing, and the effect it can have on people that I wouldn't even realize. So many people, really finding this as, a bright spot in their day, starting their day off right, and that's a wild thing to think about, but also really awesome. And I really glad that you're here with us, Lewis. Let's see. 23, 24, 25 modern. Live feeds don't give us post veto feeds or live HOH results or feeds after the show. Only one comp. I remember 100%. Tracy, 100%, right? Part one of the HOHs we used to get to watch, right? And that's why I feel like they're different, right? They're different eras. There's things that have happened that happen differently now in these seasons than they used to happen in the earlier ones. And I feel like we've gotten to that point where we need to kind of redefine the eras. And that can always be a gray area, right? Like, how exactly do you redefine them in different ways? But yeah, I feel like we're in that new stage. Let's see. Where are we at? You're so welcome. Go to party like Prince said. It's 1999. Love it. Love it. Let's see where we're at. I just turned 60, but I act like 25. Colleen, I love it. I love it. Let's see. What makes the eras? And that's a good question, right? Like, what makes an era, right? It could be hard to define, and you get in that gray area, right? Where I'd almost say you got to do season 1, it's its own thing, but season 2 to All Stars, I feel like that's its own era, right? Oh, Billy. Billy's got one right here. I see it. I didn't see the notification, but let's see what he defines it as. 1 to 8 old era. I like that grouping, actually, because I feel like 8 can definitely fit in with the old era. And you know what I like about this, actually? I don't know if you did that on purpose or not. Maybe you meant 9 to 15. There's that Hisam dance. There's that Hisam dance notification. So, season 1 to 8 as the old era. 9 to 15 as the standard definition era. 16 to 22 as the new era. And then 23 to 25 as the modern era. I kind of like that breakdown, actually. Like, that's a pretty good, like, if you were going to draw lines at different spots, I think that's a good lines to kind of draw it. And also, hear me out, there's some fun little, like, parallels here, right? Because, like, if you were going to break it down that way, where it's like 9 to 15, listen, other than maybe one season, 9 to 15, name me any other controversial season. 21, right? 21 could go in a group with that, with those ones. I guess 10's not controversial. But like 14 maybe is not that controversial, but like 9's controversial, 15's controversial. Listen, we really want to talk about it. There was some stuff that happened on 11 and 12. There was some stuff that happened on 11 and 12 that was wild too. But also, what's interesting about the new era, if you broke it down where it was a break between 16 to 22, who are the bookend winners? Derek and Cody. That's kind of a nice little breakdown there, right? Where it's like, you could almost call that the Hitman era. you could almost call 16 to 22 the Hitman era. That's almost what you could call that one. Types of winners, types of meta gameplay, maybe, right, Stan? But that's the thing too, it can shift so much. But I also feel like we are getting into that shift away from the big alliances, right? Like, I feel like we're finally starting to see where, yeah, you might get the big alliance that starts, but more and more it's becoming likely that those big alliances will crack at some point in the game. Love that dance. Comps were too athletic and skill based. I wish were more random to spread out the winner. Yeah, Jane, that's an issue, right? And I know, like, there's lots of talk about, like, you know, what comps should be you know, more physical, what comps should be more mental, right? And I don't think there's an easy answer where you go like, this one should be physical, and then the next one should be mental, and then this one should be that. I think it has to be kind of random and where they're spaced out. But man, did we have a lot of like physically oriented comps towards the end of it. And to be fair, it wasn't like they were just like, hey, how fast can you run competitions, right? There was like the ball one during the double, like the veto during the double, which was just like run back and forth and grab a ball and drop it, right? There was no chance for them there. But most of the other ones that, even if they had a physical aspect to it, they also had mental aspects to it as well. So I have to give Jag at least a little bit of credit on that end too, where just because he was the strongest, most athletic guy, he was studying, he was paying attention, he was smart, right? Like, he had a good head on his shoulders where he's able to figure out, you know, oh, which teeth are cracked differently and how to do that the most efficiently. So I have to give him some props in that end too. But yeah, it did seem like maybe we should cut back on how much running we're asking these house guests to do. maybe at the same time, I could see the argument where, hey, you're in a house 24/7 with nothing else to do. Maybe run a couple laps in the backyard, right? Like, I can see that too. But yeah, I think I don't know what the 100% solution is. I also don't know how bad the problem is, because like, I know a lot of people are under the impression right now that comps are disproportionately physically based and that it's different than previous seasons. One of the things I want to do during the off season is kind of go through all the different comps. It's a project. This is a big project that it's going to take some time to really do. And it basically involves going to each episode, because you can't even just go to like Big Brother Wiki and be like, oh, this comp was this and this comp was that. You need to go to the episode and be like, oh, okay, so this episode they had a run, so I'm going to classify that as a physical one. And I want to get the data. I want to know which competitions were physical, which competitions were more mental, which ones were crapshoots, which ones were like a combination of which. The other one, and I think it might have been Morrow who originally brought up this idea. I forget if it was Morrow, it might have been somebody else in the Discord. What is the veto player pick proportions like? Because one of the things that, you know, people are saying is like, oh, women aren't winning as many comps, which I agree is statistically backed up, right? And also an issue, right? Like, it should be more of where, like, you never know who's going to win, right? Like, that, it should be literally random, where it could be anyone anytime. But also, like, you should earn it, right? Like, that's the difficulty of it too. Like, you don't want to make it where it's like just completely like, we're pulling a name out of the hat and they're the HOH this week. You want to have some kind of skill or determination in your fate, right? It's okay to have crapshoots, but you want there to be some kind of skill to this. And where was I at? Oh, the veto picks. Because one of the things is, what's the proportions like with that? Are just men being picked more than women for the veto? Because one of the things that I actually thought of when I was thinking about this problem is, let's say, just putting it out there, let's say you are on the block for eviction night, or on the block for the veto pick, and you get house guest choice. Who are you picking in that house? Are you picking a Cirie to help you with the veto? Or are you picking a Jag to help you with the veto? And that's not, you know, anything against Cirie, right? I'm just trying to say how, like, I can see where it might be very disproportional to more men are just competing in the veto competitions. It could be like 4 men and 2 women competing in every veto competition. Of course, they're only going to win, like, what would that even be? 10, 20%? I don't even know. I'm not good at quick math like that. But if there's only 2 women in every veto competition, they're going to have a less chance at winning competitions overall. So that might even be a thing where maybe we have to change up how veto picks are done. I don't know, right? I'm just trying to put out the idea that there's a lot that can go into throwing the numbers off completely. And I really want to know how bad the competition problem is. Because yes, I agree, it's an issue, but how bad is the issue? Maybe there's things that are like complicating it, making it seem worse than it is. And maybe it's not as bad as we think it is, and we can make slight tweaks to fix the problem. It was 100 Day of Hell. D'Angelo, you're kind of not wrong on that. That would make the backdoor too powerful, right? Like there's so much that can go into it. I picked the worst competitors to compete against this season. Picked Matt, Jag constantly. That's true, right? Like you kind of actually maybe would want to pick a Cirie, right? You want somebody easier to beat. But if you're thinking of somebody you're aligned with, if you're aligned with Matt and Jag, you would want to pick Matt and Jag over anybody else, because you would think, oh, if Matt and Jag win the comp, they'll use it on me. And I think that's a thing that can affect potential, you know, percentages on how many people are winning competitions, just based on like who's getting picked. Like, I'm interested to know how that stat relates to, you know, who's winning competitions. Again, it's a big project that takes, because that's the other thing. I haven't been able to find a resource on who had each comp picks without like literally going back and just looking at each episode. Okay, this person, this person, this person, this person were picked for the veto. Unless you know, like you can see, like if somebody who wasn't on the block won, you can look on BB Wiki, because you can see who was on the block, and then if somebody not on the block won, you could see who 3 of the people were. But there's no way to know who all 6 of the people were unless you go to the episode. So it's gonna take a little bit of research and work to figure out some of this info. But that'll be a project to come. People on the block think picking someone to play is low-key trust deposit. Mara, right? Like they feel like if you choose, you know, if I'm on the block and I choose Morrow, there's a lot of people that feel like, oh, if I chose Morrow, that's making Morrow feel like I trust him, which in a way kind of can make you feel that way, right? Would I use my veto pick just for that? Probably not. I'm going to pick either someone I know I can beat, or I know would use it on me who has a good shot at winning a veto. Those are your 2 options, I think, really, for a good veto pick. Someone you can beat, or someone you 100% know will use it on you if they win it. Let's see. Allison the Gardner ruined BB. There, you might have a point to that. Thanks for the great content. You paid Black Ma. What? Weren't you? Why am I struggling to comprehend? Thanks for the great content. Oh, I get what you're saying. You're welcome. I was like getting ready to be upset, but I think you mean like dying laughing, which glad you were able to enjoy everything. BB Can stopped having HOH. Tracy, yes, that is a thing. And veto is used most weeks now. And actually, Tracy, what's interesting too, if you look back like the first 2 seasons or so, they did that. I don't think it changed much. Like, it was good in theory, where the idea, if you guys don't know, in BBUS, everyone competes in the veto, HOH, the 2 nominees, and then 3 people picked at random. In Big Brother Canada, what they started to do was just the 2 nominees will compete with 3 people picked at random. And the theory behind that was HOH competing to try and keep their nominations the same. If they aren't there, there's more of a likelihood the veto will be used each week. And the first couple of seasons they did that. I think they started it was it BB6 or was it BB7? I forget which season they started it, but it didn't change much. Like, for the most part, it felt like it was like, it's good in theory. But the past few seasons, like, I think BB Can 11, it was used like every time, pretty much, almost. BB Can 10, it was used almost every time, pretty much. Even BB Can 9, I don't think it was used as much. But I think there was like different veto winners each. There was an interesting stat with the veto where it was like, oh yeah, like everybody who's winning the veto, it's like it made it more interesting. And it took like a bit for that to kind of show, but I did like that switch. Had mixed feeling at first, but we're seeing a new game now. 100% Tracy, right? And that's why it's like, it can be hard sometimes trying to figure out a solution for things, because you might add in something and then it might not actually even get accepted by like the players and used the way you intended them to use it. And you go, well, that was a waste. And then other times it takes a little bit for it to kind of come to fruition of like what it really can bring to the game and what it can change. Last year it was used every week for the first 9 weeks. Crazy, right? Like, that's awesome. That's the kind of stuff you want to see. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed. I do like the idea that as the HOH, you get to defend your nominees, right? Like, you by playing in the veto, you kind of like are trying to like keep your noms the same. But I like power shifts, right? I like rooting for the underdogs. I like when things aren't easy for the people in power. Even if the people in power are people I like like it hard for them to keep that power. It needs to be impressive. It needs to be impressive. They should do it where even vote weeks, the HOH can't play veto, can't even pick, since they get to split ties. That's true too, right? They do get to split ties. Yeah, I think there's a lot that you could do with it that could be fun. Sorry, BB Can 10, it was used for the first 9 weeks. BB Can... That's saying something right there. BB Can 10, it was used for the first 9 weeks straight. BB Can 11, the veto was used every week. That's a stat right there. And that's something where it's like, yeah, when they first introduced that veto rule, didn't seem like it was going to do much. But Tracy, you nailed it. It now encourages gameplay a little bit, and makes it a little bit more fun. Is it fair for the HOH not to get a chance to compete to keep their noms the same? So, Stan, yeah, that was kind of the thing I was trying to say is, I feel like there is a there is a point to that, right? Where it's like, yeah, I can see where it's nice for the HOH to be able to defend their nominees. But does it lead to more power shifts? Does it lead to more you know, switches and flips? I mean, come on, we all love the flips that were happening this year. And if you have the nominees changing and it leads to more flips, I like that. I like that. Do you see a time when we are allowed to vote for the winner? Probably not. I don't see that coming back for a while. They might do like a twist where there's an America juror, which they've done before too as well, but I don't think it will be a while till we ever see anything like that again. Let the HOH play, and if they win, they have to use that way it keeps the odds of strategic backdoor open. And if they want to defend their noms, they can throw or try and tank their nominee's chance. Andy, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Because again, it kind of does keep that chance that you could win it and use it to backdoor somebody if you wanted to. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Leads to needing a better social game. Oh, did I miss a part of your thing? And encourage a better gameplay leads to a better social game. 100% I agree. I think it's fair they should have to rely on the non-nominees to protect their noms. And that's a good point too, right? Like, do you then give them the chance to defend it, or is their way of defending it having numbers and having a good alliance of people that might end up being in the competition vying for it to keep your nominations the same? I don't know. There's a lot of different, I don't know where I fall on this. There's a lot of good points on each end. And also, I'm not sure how either one's those would affect the game. Like I said, we didn't think this was a good thing that they changed until the most recent seasons. First few seasons they had this change, it was like, who cares? It doesn't even matter. But now it's actually shown like, oh, it actually does encourage the veto to get used more. And that's kind of cool to see. Which is also why, like, I worry that they will go and like change the competitions, and like they'll make the competitions less physical. And then like we'll get somebody who's like a Jag and just dominates the competitions again. And then everyone's gonna say they didn't do enough. But we just so happen to have somebody dominate again. Like, I feel like we're destined to have Big Brother go, hey, we fixed the competitions. And then we have the second coming of Jag, Cameron. Like, there's gonna be like one, like Michael, right? Like, there's gonna be just someone who dominates all the competitions, and we go like, it's like, what do we do now, guys? What's your big solution? You wanted the competitions fixed, and then did it change anything? Nope. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Ory, what are your thoughts on modern Survivor post Winners at War? You know, hit and miss. What was it? Was 42? Or no, was it like 41? So because Survivor 40 was Winners at War, right? I might be off on the numbers. But like that first one that was like the COVID era survivors, I guess really you could kind of call them. Those ones, not a huge fan of. I don't like the weird stuff they do with merge twists. Yeah, 41, right? That was that first one. I don't like the stuff they do with like the merge, non-merge. I think that's lame. I think the last 2 seasons of Survivor have been very good though. Because what are we on now? 45? So 44 and 45 I thought were really good. 43 had moments, but the end game, 41 and 42, again, like, I just think there was, like, a lot, I don't know, they were doing a lot with that, the hourglass thing with Erica, and then, was there really anything in 42 that was that bad? I just don't think I like that cast very much, more than anything else. But but yeah, it hit and miss is probably what I would say. But in the last like 2 seasons, a little bit more hit than miss, if that makes sense. Where are we at? I want America to vote for Final 2. The finale of The Traitors might be the best single episode of a game show reality TV ever. There is something fun about the finale of The Traitors, right? Like watching that all kind of play out. It is kind of fun. I also, the forced use would allow the HOH to protect just one of the nominees. Ooh. Adding little wrinkles to it. I kind of like it. I think HOH is top one-sided, and everyone sucks up to them, and they don't have to do shit to pick up the not Matty Isis. Too one-sided. So that's also why I think, and I want to hear this from you guys as well. I think that week 1 twist of this season with no HOH but a nominees competition, and there were like 4 of them. I liked that. I liked that a lot. And I felt like it was good for the early game of the season. And I would not at all be mad if that became a mainstay of the show, where week 1, no HOH until like the first few days, right? Have the HOH competition be a little bit later, and have like 4 people who are in danger and they need to talk game. Because instead of everything bottlenecking at HOH, it opened the game wide. Everyone was scrambling. It was wild. Izzy was pumping, right? Like, it felt like a different game those first few days of the season with that big twist. And I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that coming back. Big fan of no HOH. Are you going to becoming Survivor, The Challenge, and other shows now that Big Brother is over? I think so, because one of the things I want to do is do more of these live streams in the morning. And I don't know if I'll do like video covering them, like how I kind of do like the updates in the morning. Because I don't think the format really works well. But you know, get on here and we'll chat. Like you know, Thursday we'll hop on, we'll talk about what happened on like Survivor the night before or something like that. So I think that'll be kind of fun. Let's see. I think there should be no HOH mid-game too. Like no HOH at all. With the nominees comp, people will complain about being comp heavy and say the evictees only went out because of the comp. And that's the thing, right? Like I get it, but I don't know. I felt like it added something. The look on Cirie's face was priceless during the speech. Oh yeah. Felicia would be like Carla and Marlo in the Amazing Race. Oh my god, the 2 of them together on there, that would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. Agreed. The no HOH first week, I just felt like it really opened up the game, and I would like to see it return. I don't know how it would work out in other seasons, but this season at least, it felt like it was a positive. And that was something I think, like, I love that they did. And it's why I always kind of give Big Brother a little bit of leeway, because it could be hard because you never know what your thing that you're going to do to the game that you think is cool is actually going to do until the players have their hands on it. It's kind of like video game development, where like video game, like Mario might actually kind of get this a little bit, where it's like you create a thing and you expect the players to do one thing with it, and then they end up building something else with it. You're like, what do you mean? no, that's not what I intended you to do with it. And then they do something that you didn't intend, and you didn't even foresee that as an option. So it's why I always encourage Big Brother to experiment, because at least sometimes it works. At least sometimes it works. Traitor season 2 is going to be wild. Wow, get your name put down on Survivor and mind crumbling. I would never do the Survivor. Not a chance. Not a chance. Nope. Or regular have reverse weeks where they do safety comps. Ooh. Instead, it's always a random week 1, like who do you lynch night 1 in Werewolf? And so that would be the thing too, where I think the competition, it doesn't have to be like a physical competition. It could be a complete crapshoot. It could be random. It could literally be a random draw. Like, I don't care. But just the fact that 4 people could end up being in danger and they need to talk game, that felt like it opened the game up so much. So much. So like if they did like a crapshoot competition where it's like, hit the ball down the Plinko board and wherever it lands, highest number is safe. Lowest 4 numbers, you're going up on the block. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that. It would. Does it suck to be the one to end up with a low number and be on the block? Sure. But if you're wanting to play Big Brother, you gotta work those social connections, especially that early game social connections, which are so important. Is the earlier you can make connections with people, the better. Uri sounded like every one of us who's ever had a DM at tabletop RPG. There you go, right? If you've ever DM'd a D&D campaign or something, you'd be like, oh, this will be fun. They're gonna go into this adventure, and we're gonna have them go on this path, and they're gonna do this and that, and then all they want to do is focus on the bunny rabbit they saw jump over there. It's like, that looks like a suspicious bunny rabbit. Let's go chase it down. That has nothing to do with the 3-hour story I developed here, guys. I don't care, bunny rabbit. Did you see it hopping? So yeah, you never know what they'll do with it until you actually give it to them. Rock paper. Let's just have a rock paper scissors competition for the nominations. Why not? If Big Brother is as funny as they like to think they are, they 100% will have a rock paper scissors competition next year. What, like, if they have even like the slightest bit of humor that they think they have, where they like to roast people and take shots, they will have a competition that is rock paper scissors themed. And if they don't, that is a failure on production. That is 100% a failure. I think you don't need to have immediate nominations. Just give them some time to stew. Yes, right? Like maybe it doesn't even have to be like you're nominated, but just the idea that there's no power broker, right? There's nobody at the top where everybody has to go talk to and everybody's walking on eggshells around. I think that would be fun. Or he's being catty. Just a little bit. Red gummy bear is iconic. Absolutely is. Absolutely is. And could you imagine if there were more scenarios where, like, in Big Brother, you'd have to do a thing like in Survivor and draw rocks? Could you imagine if, like, especially in BB Can, if instead of drawing rocks, it forever became the red gummy bear, and instead of looking for like the white rock or the black rock, every time you pulled it out, whoever got the red gummy bear. That would be such a classic nod. That would be fantastic if that was just how they continued to do it moving forward. Let's see. Larsa and Marcus aren't interesting. Oh, are they on another show where they're kind of doing stuff? Interesting. Because I'm hoping for juicy mess with the two of them. Like, I'm hoping that like the two of them are just this completely toxic couple that just goes on madness during the Traitors. But if they're boring on another show, that's a shame. That's a shame. Because I just love the idea. I don't know. There's something about the son of the greatest basketball player in the history of the world dating the ex-wife of one of his father's former teammates. There's just something about that. I don't know what it is. It just, here's the thing. When I first read the names and I heard they were dating, I was like, oh, Michael Jordan's son's dating Scottie Pippen's daughter? That's funny. What a cute thing that is. And then I found out the story and I realized that she was his ex-wife. I'm sorry. It kills me. It absolutely kills me. I just, that is one of the funniest things. It's so messy. It's so messy. Like that is the mess of all messes. Ori, what do you think of House of Villains this week? Let me try and remember. Oh, they did the ice breaking thing, right? Yeah. I thought it was a good episode. That one dude, who's the dude who keeps yelling at the women? Who's that dude? What's his name? Oh, I forget. Shake. Yes. Open your damn box, bro. This dude's celebrating. You're screwed and you're going down and you didn't even open his box. Didn't even open it. Oh, bro. What a joke. He was the worst on Love is Blind. I love that they were like, Johnny Bananas was like, dude, like, aren't you like known for yelling at women? You're not helping yourself. You're just gotta proving them right. Oh, what a, that show, it's so like unseriously serious. I love it, right? Like, it's that perfect blend of not being serious with it, but like, it's so fun. Shake is spiraling. Mario coming in with the super chat. I don't see the notification yet, but we're in no HOH week 1, but double style week in a night for the first eviction night. Morrow, what are you trying to do to these people? Could you hold on a second? Could you guys imagine? There's the Noto. Get the little Hisam dance going. Get the little Hisam dance going. Could you imagine the first eviction, the very first week of the season, is a double eviction? They'd lose their mind inside the house. I would love to just watch the scramble. Like, you know how there's a scramble after every double where like the HOH like meets with everybody real quickly? How do you do that with 14 people, 15 people? It would be wild. I kind of want it now. I'm not saying 2 evictions, just that you play all the comps that night. Oh, that also could be fun. That also, like, give them just a week to stew. So you put them in, you move them in for a week. You let them in there, you just let them stew. And then on Thursday, all the comps are played in one night. So like they can start kind of thinking about it, but they don't know if all the comps are being played on one night. They might just assume it's HOH that first night. But then they have to put the noms up, and then it's like that would be fun. It would be chaotic, and I would like to see it just to see everybody running with their heads cut off, right? Like they'd literally be chickens with their heads cut off, just be like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Just like there would be literally someone who would just like spin in circles looking for someone to talk to, like look at you. That would be fun. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I'm gonna lay down and watch from my bed. I love you all. I'm probably gonna be calling it here in just a bit. But this has been fun. I've enjoyed this kind of little decompress of the season. Just trying to get our thoughts out on some of the stuff. Did they how to play? I think they just did they know how to play? I think they just gave up. Housewives are my jam. The Housewives can be a lot of fun on these shows. They could be a lot of fun. Wasn't what's her name that we were talking about earlier? Was it Maddie? No, not Maddie. Kate. Or no. Kate was from Below Deck. Kate on the Traitors was from Below Deck. But there's been some good Housewives on some other show. Oh, what's the girl on the Villains from Housewives? Oh, what's her name? Because I actually really like her. Like I didn't really know her going into House of Villains, but I was like, actually, I kind of like her. She just ended up on the block, this or whatever they call it on House of Villains. And she was like, this, not Corinne. Let me look up House of Villains. Trying to look at the cast. Can't seem to. Oh, she's not from Housewives. She's from Bad Girls Club. Tanisha from Bad Girls Club. I thought she was from Housewives or something. But I didn't know her, but she's awesome. Like with how things turned out for her in the episode, oh my, I can't wait to see the next one. She's like, right? Like I didn't know her at all, but now I'm like, she's fantastic. Or are you talking The Graduate? Uh-oh, what happened? Mrs. Robinson, what's happening? What happened? Did I miss something? Yeah, hit that like button. If you guys are new here, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button, especially if you're liking this video, hit that like button, smash that like button. I appreciate all of you guys, and Mario coming in with the super chat, and there's the Hisam dance. There's the Hisam dance for everybody. But yeah, I think we're gonna probably end up calling it here, and kind of shutting it down. Let me see some of these last chats coming on in. Everybody else is playing the role, and he's just living it. She's the girl from the meme. I didn't go get no sleep because of y'all not getting sleep because of me. Oh, that's her? That's fantastic. Ori, feel free to cover Fantasy Sweet Week on Golden Bachelor. Ooh, I might have to check that out. Fun fact, The Graduate, it was one of my favorite movies, top 5. It is a good movie, a classic movie. I gotta say, love all of you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out and joining me here on this lovely Monday morning. Hope you guys had a good one. Just kind of chatting BB. We'll be back here on the channel. I want to do more of these live morning streams. I want to just kind of hang out and chat with you guys, talking about all kinds of different random things, whether it's reality shows, other things. I think it could be a lot of fun. Plus, I also am working on the Big Brother 25 video, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time.